It's good to speak with you all today. The show is really very interesting. I'm curious, were you familiar with the book and what drew you to the project originally?
I
Can
was
start with
already I was
Peter.
already drawn to the subject matter in 2016. I'd made this short documentary that Norman Lear produced for Epix, where I went to Dayton, Ohio, and learned all about it. It's something that I know about from my own private life and people that I care about around me. And so when I heard that it was being made, actually one of the producers on it, I know, and I heard they were making it. I actually said I wonder if there's anything I can do in this, just because I feel so that the topic is so important. So so yeah, I was kind of looking for it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's hard to kind of escape. I mean, we've heard about the opioid crisis for so long now, and in a weird way, I think John was saying this earlier today. It's almost been oversaturated, so it's like hard to get a hook into where it is currently, or at least that's been the case for the past 5 years or so, in my experience, without deliberately kind of investigating the details of it. And that's Danny Strong wrote a great script with a huge cast and a lot of spinning plates that kind of does a good job taking all that data, as did Beth's book, and putting it together for you to kind of digest and understand in 8 hours. I think the format had a lot to do with feeling like this would be an exciting project. If it were a movie, I don't think you could cover it all. And the fact that it's a dramatization, includes like a kind of empathy for the characters and the situation. So it just felt like, at least for me, once I kind of dove in to the script and the role and the book, there was a lot of surprises about just how deep this goes, just how far up the chain it goes, and how bad it is, and that it's ongoing. So.
John, what about you?
I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. Just say what did you want me to say again, Abe? What was the question?
Were you familiar with the book and what drew you to the project originally?
I was familiar with the book. Danny reached out with a couple different roles prior to the opportunity to play Randy, and I had been following the opioid crisis kind of for years, because I'm from North Carolina, and this is a state that's been sort of acutely affected by it. And it was always, the thing that I was always struck by was always poor people from the mountain towns. Like, that was the kind of the way that it was always sort of presented. And I felt like from a long time back, I sort of smelled a rat. And the more that we got into this, the more that we sort of dug in, the more you realize that that's a narrative that's been fed to us by Purdue Pharma so that they could continue selling us these drugs. I would say that I definitely learned a lot throughout this process. And Beth's book has been immensely helpful in sort of stitching together all of these various aspects of the crisis.
And you all play real people. How important was it to speak to the people you were playing, or to sort of create your own characters out of the basis for them?
I mean, they're not well-known people. So, I think in situations like this, it's better to kind of be truthful with yourself, be honest to your own, honor yourself, and you will honor them. The only the trouble that we as actors get into sometimes, and none of these parts were this trap, is if you're playing someone who is the villain, right? And you kind of play at being the villain, or you're playing someone who's famous and you get caught up doing accents and wearing noses and stuff like that, and don't get to something deeper. So we had a real opportunity here to just sort of like, go at it the way we wanted to. Yeah, we did I mean, I know I did a few things that are my friends wouldn't recognize from me in my everyday life, but like they kind of came intuitively. They weren't strictly based off of Rick. They were more based off of the script, and the script was really my Bible for the character.
I think that whenever we're allowed the space to sort of follow the lines and follow the given situation, we're able to bring reality to the roles in a beautiful way. And I think that's something Michael Stuhlbarg, who plays Sackler, did a wonderful job of. It'd be so easy to just play this guy as a one-dimensional villain, but he brought such texture to that role. And I think that's all down to the writing. It's also, of course, down to Michael not just taking the easy way out, but it's also down to the wonderful writing that Danny did.
Yeah, Danny did a lot of, he was talking to a lot of these guys all throughout the writing process too. So he would tell me about a scene that was like coming up in episode 7 or 8 that he was like, oh, I was talking to John Brownlee, the person I'm playing. He was like, and he told me this story about when he walked in his office and said this stuff. I can't wait for you to do it. And I was like, oh, wow. So that's making it directly from this into the script. So, that is kind of the luxury of having such a good writer. Because they're not well known, there's not that pressure to, like you said, put on a pair of glasses and accent, big nose, or and just kind of.
But that is fun to get to do occasionally.
Hey, we did it offset all the time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I'm sure that you guys, you're sharing, you're doing these conversations together. You share a lot of scenes together, and I'm curious how much your own personality traits, are contributed to the dynamic that you had together in terms of the different things that you
100%.
Brought to the characters.
That's the job. That's what we're going for. That's absolutely the deal.
Yeah, I think if you're able to find similarities within yourself to the person that you're bringing to life, then the person that you're bringing to life will seem more truthful. If you're just sort of kind of creating and tacking things on, it looks like a creation that people can't really invest in because you're not truly connected to it.
And were you sort of isolated from the rest of the cast because you came, at least at first, because of the way that you came into the storyline, or was there a lot of interaction early on with everybody?
I think there were, necessarily there was like 5 different shows being filmed. So we didn't get as much interaction with the other storylines as we would have loved because, some fantastic folks working on this show.
It's also a funny moment in COVID where it's like, I wasn't sure at this point because we started in December of last year, and the previous film I'd done was my wife's film on an island. I thought, like, where everything was really contained. I thought, are we really allowed to go out and have dinner together? Are we allowed to hang out together, not outside when we're not filming? So like, John and I went on hikes and stuff together, but like, it always felt like it kind of had to be COVID safe hangout.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for speaking with me today. And Dopesick premieres on Wednesday, October 13th on Hulu.
Thanks, Abe.
Very nice to meet you guys.